Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 20th episode. It's kind of crazy that this has already hit the 20th episode, but a very special one. In fact, a gentleman that's new on our channel, and hopefully you've tried his cigars before. If not, I would highly encourage you to do so. This is a rather interesting type of kind of promo deal that we're running tonight because for the cigar that is the July drop of the Oakland Tobacconist Cigar Society, that is Justin Chaffiot cigar that we're doing tonight. Now, that cigar is available through the society. Unfortunately, right now it's not available through the shop. So if you are not a member or you'd like to become a member to try this cigar, I highly recommend it. You can go to our website, click on this link that will direct you to the subscription, which is a monthly subscription that we send out. So you will get a 5-pack of the same blend, typically something more on the boutique side, rare side, and not necessarily something we always have in our humidor. And more than likely, you may not find in local shops if you're out here in California. You will be sent that cigar to your door, or you can pick it up here in the shop. Join the society. You can taste it all together. And it's also based on the experience and the aging of that cigar, seeing how it matures as you continue through. It's an awesome experience, and we're steadily growing our society. Right now, we have 5 spots open, only 5. So if you'd like to become a member tonight, go ahead and join on. Click the link in this video and become a member. And there's only 5 spots. So tonight we were going to be featuring a cigar. It'll be available later on the week. But the cigar in question is called Hear No Evil. And it is Cameroon wrapper. To my knowledge, maybe Justin will correct me if I'm wrong here, Nicaraguan fillers and binder. So, as it is appropriate, figured I'd light up something Cameroon. This is the Hyena by Blackwork Studio. Amazing cigar, and it's one of the Cameroon cigars that we have. If you are smoking something, if you are drinking something, drop it down in the comments. We'd love to see what you are enjoying tonight. And also, if you are... if you have any questions for Justin or myself, drop them in the comments. We'll make sure we pull them. We have Andy here inside the shop, and it looks like he's lighting up in Aganorsa. We have also Rob, Claudia, Vern, Derek Christie, and Matt as well. So they're joining us for this very special live video. And we were able to get Justin on the show right before he is actually headed out state. He's going on a trip, so we're really excited to have him here. So if you can please help me welcome Justin Chaffiot to the show. Thank you so much, Justin, for being on.
Hey, thanks for having me. Come on, everybody.
Awesome. So I know I had mentioned you're kind of traveling out of state. Where exactly are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Brevard County, Florida. So
okay.
Yeah. So we're from a little town called Rockledge, Florida, and that's where I'm. I'm actually at my parents' house right now. I'll just be honest with you. They have a much nicer setting than my current spot, especially for shows and interviews.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Nice. So is your headquarters stationed in Florida as well then?
Yeah. So we're stationed, our headquarters is in Rockledge. The manufacturer who we work with is up in Orlando, or his Florida office is in Orlando. So super close, about a 45-minute drive, and pretty convenient. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Awesome. So are you smoking anything tonight? Are you drinking anything?
I am smoking the newest addition to your humidor, which I'm really excited about. Thank you for bringing it on, man. We're about to light up Hear No Evil. Again, I apologize that it did not come in time for this show, but it is on the way. Should be getting to you
awesome
tomorrow. Yeah. But anyway, and you're smoking the Hyena.
Mm-hmm. It's that Cameroon tobacco. It's it has a signature to it, an earthy sweetness to it. But yeah, we're really excited. So, and I kind of had mentioned this prior with our society that we have. We try to find, I won't say hidden gems, because I feel like more and more I'm seeing your guys' brand get more exposure and more out there. Sure. But the cigars that maybe are not the heritage lines, more on the boutique side, that it's like once you have it, more people need to smoke this. Like it's a phenomenal cigar.
Couldn't agree more, man. Yeah, and it's people like you that are putting boutiques more on the map and giving us more exposure, and that it's invaluable, man. It really is. So again,
thank you for making great cigars. So
oh, dude, we're honored to be doing this. We're still super new in the industry, but we're learning more and more every day, and we're excited with our progress we've made thus far.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep going along.
So Chaffiot Cigars, how long? When was your release date? Like, how long has it been going?
Well, technically, the idea to do this was it started developing in like late 2017. The official, the first line we released was in mid 2018 or so.
Okay.
So we were
Okay.
setting up the structure of the company and all that prior to then. So I would say mid 2018 is when our official release kind of happened. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
we only had one
Okay.
cigar.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what was your release?
Yeah, we just called it the original Maduro. Really, really clever, the original Maduro. But, yeah, man. No, it was actually, we actually might bring that cigar back. We haven't had it on the market for a little while now, but we may actually bring that cigar back. I was talking with my wife about that the other day. But no, it was a great cigar, man. It was just a Nicaraguan Maduro wrapper, Sumatra binder, and all fillers from Nicaragua as well.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So, well, not to back it up too much, but I'm actually curious, like, how did you get into this concept of I'm going to release cigars? I'm going to have a brand, and like, where did that start?
Yeah, man. So, like, again, going back to late 2017, I heard about the greats. Well, I'll even back up further. Now I'm going back further. So my local cigar shop, it was called Paradise Cigars, and literally 5 minutes down the road, and the owner, his name is Brooke, really introduced me to the whole concept of boutiques. I knew nothing about the whole boutique world until about 2015 or so was when I really got introduced, when I really started, learning more and more. So I would visit his shop, pretty frequently. And again, all I knew at the time was what I smoked with my grandfather, which was just like Macanudos and Gurkhas.
Yeah.
All the popular brands. So anyway, he showed me this whole world, and I loved it. And jumping forward to late 2017, I just got this idea, and I was like, the Great Smoke Fest was happening in February of 18. So I was like, I made a little crappy business card, created an LLC. It was like, I'm going to go down to the Great Smoke and talk to all these manufacturers. And hopefully some of them will give me the time of day. Luckily, only 3 did. And, one of them, it turned out to be a good thing, a good relationship. And he really gave us a chance, and we got to release the original Maduro that year, mid 2018. But really, man, like going back to what kind of motivated us to get started, was definitely, the love for boutiques, the newfound love for sure. And then also, my wife and I have had this mission kind of near and dear to our hearts about raising awareness for human trafficking and fighting human trafficking. And
definitely,
yeah, my wife was making connections with local nonprofits in our area, pertaining to that cause at the time. And I was like, why don't we just use a cigar like as a tool, to raise awareness, for that cause. So that, I would say, the combination of boutiques and, raising awareness for trafficking is really kind of what got us going, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So I kind of have like a twofold question. One is, I assume from kind of smoking some of your portfolio and then you saying you released with an original Maduro, would you say your palate is more in like the medium plus to full, or?
Definitely. I'd say more full now than anything. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably more full. Well, it's probably fair to say medium too. I enjoy some medium bodied cigars, but probably more full now. Yeah. Than anything.
Yeah. And then with releasing that and having it as a tool, like as you say, release the original Maduro, how much longer then did you go with kind of that theme of like speak no evil, hear no evil, that sort of thing?
So that was in 2019. My wife and I took a trip to North Carolina, and so where I work with my family, by the way, and my father had the 3 monkeys, like a little statue in his office, like hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. And I looked at it, I was like, that could be a cool concept for cigars, just have 3 different blends, representing, hear no, see no, speak no. So that's literally how that happened. And, I delved a little deeper as far as the philosophy goes and really correlated it with human trafficking and man's really horrible ability to like turn away from things that they should confront. It's like the whole thing with monkeys, it's like, put your hand, away from your face and look at this injustice that's happening. So, so that was, that's how we correlated it with our humanitarian mission. But so that happened, and then we met a new blender at the time, actually, who for those lines, and that person now we have a really strong relationship with them. Again, they're 45 minutes away. Met them through our local cigar shop as well, and just been super awesome with this man. Like really taking us under his wing, and being patient with us, and teaching us new things every day. I feel like I learn more from spending 15 minutes from him than I do an hour researching, about cigars.
Wow. Yeah.
So really cool that we're working with this manufacturer. So anyway, so he decided to release all the see no, hear no, speak no. We came to an agreement with that, and we made some killer blends. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because we've talked to several different manufacturers, and it's always a cool learning curve of like what you choose to release first. And typically something that's on the Connecticut broadleaf side or even the Cameroon side has a lot of challenges attached to it. I mean, tobacco supply, cost. Yeah. And I have to say, for being at more of a boutique side cigar company, plus using something like Cameroon, your guys' price point is really right on. Like it's nothing too... Yeah, no, it's very digestible, and for the quality of what you're smoking, it's phenomenal.
Thanks for confirming that, man. That means a lot. Yeah, and it's like, no, for real. I mean, doing the Cameroon, I mean, like you kind of hit the nail on the head. There's challenges with that leaf in general. I know a lot of people, or there's a good amount of companies that have Cameroons out there, but the climate and the soil composition in Cameroon definitely produces a, shall I say, difficult leaf to work with, from a rolling standpoint, from a fermentation standpoint, from, there's multiple angles that make this doing a Cameroon blend challenging. So when we decided to do it though, man, he hit the nail on the head. It was really cool.
So then you release, from the original Maduro, you release the 3, and then your fairly newest release would be Brother's Keeper.
Actually, no, Brother's Keeper was after the original Maduro. That was.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I skipped that. That was my fault.
No, not at all.
But yeah, that was right after the original Maduro, and that was the cigar that the manufacturer who we work with now introduced to us. So this is the Habano Oscuro, and like once we smoked that, I fell in love with it. It was more of a mild cigar now. At the time, my palate was still, progressing and still forming somewhat, but I now consider that a pretty mild cigar, but I still think it's a great cigar. I just smoke it in the morning with my coffee these days. So,
right.
A little bit, but
well, and something that's also unique about your guys' offerings is that there's actually no Connecticut seed that I know of. Connecticut shade. Is that something see down the line, or do you think you might hold off for now?
Yeah. So with sorry, can you say it one more time? It kind of cut off a little bit.
Sorry. Do you have any future plans of possibly using Connecticut shade in one of your blends?
Definitely. So it's funny you say that. We actually have a Connecticut in the pipeline right now.
Oh wow!
That we're going to be releasing July or August, I'd say. So that's coming down here soon. Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, binder from Jalapa. Fillers consist of Jalapa, Condega, and Anastelli. So really looking forward to that. But dude, I'm telling you right now, I'll send you some just for you to try, because I want you to try them before we release them. But
sure,
it is a bomb Connecticut, bro. Like Connecticut's, there's always a stereotype of them being mild, and there's some pretty full body Connecticut's out there. But dude, the pepper on the retro hail will just singe your nose hairs. But it will, and it starts out like it starts out strong from a strength standpoint, and then it actually progresses backwards. It goes strong and transitions to a medium from the strength profile.
Okay.
So yeah, it turns into a nice medium cigar about right when you get to second thirds is when it becomes medium. But that first third is a
Nice
firebomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pepper bomb.
Well, and it's funny how you kind of bring up like there's more like stereotypical mild Connecticut's, or there's this the term I've heard a lot of over the last 5 years is not your grandfather's Connecticut.
Yeah.
I feel like people latch on to that even when it's not true, and they're like, it's not that newspaper cigar you're going to have. It's got a lot of flavor, and it's like, well, it's still very, very mild. But there are a few that stand out with that kind of like strength and complexity.
Oh, yeah.
That have that. So that sounds great.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. And again, seriously, we'll send you some. But what are you sipping on, by the way? Looks tasty.
I'm actually pairing with Monkey Shoulder.
Oh, that's the bourbon, right? I haven't tried that.
It's actually it's a strange one. It's a blended malt Scotch.
Oh,
so it's not a blended Scotch; it's a blended malt Scotch. But it's kind of like it's kind of like the most pliable pairing that I've come across. It basically goes with anything. Typically, the staple here at the shop is Knob Creek. I don't know if you're much of a. Are you much of a whiskey drinker? Yeah.
So I kind of started off on bourbon, and then believe it or not, I did a complete 180 and segued into tequila. Which a lot of people are like, "What a weirdo! Like, why do you do that? Pair that with cigars?" I'm telling you, man, there are some amazing extra añejos out there, that are real in color that look like a Scotch or bourbon. I'm not sipping on anything right now. I'm actually sipping on water. I had some beers last night. I'm waking up early, so I didn't want to have anything. But anyway, but yeah, man, there's some awesome extra añejos. El Padrino is one in particular. Cazul is one as well.
Okay.
And, believe it or not, man, Ron White, comedian Ron White.
Yeah.
He has his own tequila company called Number One Tequila. Go figure. Yeah. But man, his extra añejo, and I'm not just saying this because it's Ron White, but it really is a phenomenal tequila. It really is. Cool. If you get a chance to try it, give it a try. Definitely.
One of our viewers right now, she's a regular at the shop. Her name is Cecilia, and we actually filmed a tequila cigar pairing video. And it was a añejo from Cristalino.
Cool.
Which is I haven't had that. The weird thing about it is that it's an añejo, but it's clear. It's not amber colored. Really strange, but it was very good. I'm not a tequila drinker myself, but I thought it was great. So
that's cool, man. Yeah. But I still enjoy a good bourbon every once in a while,
Yeah.
Of course, I like the bite, still like the bite, but wanted to try something new, so I went to tequila.
There you go. And for me, it's seasonal. Sometimes during the summer, it's more bourbon. When it's colder, it's more Scotch. But we got several of our viewers continuing to drop comments saying that Cameroon is awesome. And there needs to be more Cameroon cigars, but there's also a lot of, as I had mentioned, trial and error and struggle that comes with it.
Yeah. No, there definitely is, man. Again, it's a difficult wrapper to work with for sure. But if you can nail it right, like it's pretty mild. Like the wrapper is actually pretty mild from a strength standpoint. And that's where your blender just really has to be skilled and crafted and know what he's doing to give it that punch, because otherwise it will be too mild. It will be too
right.
Heavy,
Well, and I'm not gonna lie. When I first lit up Hear No Evil, and I was like, this has got sweetness. So I looked at the wrapper and I was like, this is Cameroon. It's definitely not typical Cameroon. It does have some power behind it, some richness behind it.
No, I appreciate it, man. That's great feedback. So, there's been some pretty good Cameroons out there. I actually it wasn't a strong cigar. I wouldn't classify it. I remember Christoph had a pretty decent Cameroon making, I think, but that was a good one that I would have with my coffee in the morning.
I think they still offer it, but I think the blend has changed. I think it's alternate blend. Yeah. So did you grow up in Florida?
Grew up in Florida, born and raised. Yeah.
Okay. Which is, I mean, were you around the kind of the cigar culture growing up? Did your parents smoke into it? Like, what kind of brought you to a cigar shop?
Yeah, man. Honestly, not really. Really, it's my grandfather. So my grandfather was an avid cigar smoker. That's how he and I would bond. You know, we would smoke cigars on, you know, holidays, birthdays, all that good stuff. And he was a man of very few words. That would kind of open him up to get him talking.
Yeah.
So that was our way. But anyway, so really, that's how I kind of started smoking cigars. And then, you know, in high school, senior year, turned 18, I would venture into our little local cigar shop there by the school and try some stuff, you know, experimenting. But
the good old days when you could get cigars at 18.
At 18, I know, man. Not anymore. Days are long gone. But anyway, I don't know. When my son turns 18, I'll probably give him one just for the hell of it. Don't do that. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I was just experimenting, but again, really getting to the boutiques was probably 2015 or so. So I'm relatively new, man, and I'm not ashamed of saying that because, you know, there are surprisingly a lot of new brands that come out, you know, even with all the FDA, you know, threats that are going on with the regulations, the industry is still kicking, you know, there's still new companies coming out. But, you know, one thing that does bother me though is when people claim after they've been in the industry for like 2 weeks that they're master blenders or experts and that's in their like marketing material. It's like, dude, no, you're not. Just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you have a long way to go. And I have a long way to go. Like, you know, this industry, you know, you really got to earn respect and pay your dues. And so I'm not afraid to say I'm a student and, you know, I'm really happy to where we are, you know, so. Right.
Well, and when I hear the term like master blender, those names that come to mind are people like Pepin Garcia or even like Nick Melillo from Foundation, like people that are just like ingrained in it. They live in tobacco to where, I mean, it might be a cool selling point if you say you're a master blender, but
yeah, but it's not accurate. but you know, but that's what it takes though, man. Like that's what it takes. It's truly is blood, sweat, and tears, you know, if you really want to do this. So, you know, we have a long road ahead of us, but you know, we're not going to stop until we're forced to. Hopefully, you know, that new bill that got reintroduced in the House. I don't know if you saw that the other day. Bill Posey, who and another congresswoman. But anyway, Bill Posey actually lives in my hometown, and he reintroduced the bill that was going to remove premium handmade cigars from FDA regulations and put it back in the House. So hopefully that goes through and gets passed.
That would be amazing. Is he a cigar smoker himself then?
Dude, I was literally just thinking that. I don't know, but when I see him, he literally has an office right next to where I work. Like he's there.
Oh, wow.
But I need to go just give him a box of cigars and say, I don't know if you're a cigar smoker, dude, but I really appreciate what you're doing. Like, you know?
Well, I mean, we definitely feel it out here in California. I mean, as of tomorrow, our tobacco tax gets increased again. And it's going from 56.93% to 63.49%. So at the end of the day, with sales tax, tobacco tax, the consumer is paying 70% in taxes, which is just stupid.
It's insane. And it's like, remember the guys from Cigar Authority, a good cigar podcast to listen to.
Yeah. I listen to them all the time.
Yeah, they're good. And I remember hearing them say, you know, the government can make more money taxing rice milk than premium handmade cigars. Because it's like, that's how little like cigar consumers are in this country. There's not a lot of us. Not for the premium, you know? So it's like, I don't know.
Well, the owner of Two Guys and Cigar Authority, Dave Garofalo.
Right.
I don't know if you heard the story of when he moved from New Hampshire. It's a really, I mean, it's a great and also hilarious story. Is at the time, I believe he was in Massachusetts, and they were imposing that tobacco tax for the first time. And he went to basically I think his state assembly, something like that. And he had told them, hey, don't introduce this. Even if it's 12%, it's going to go up. And I have a retail shop. It's doing very well. If you do, I'm going to uproot and I'm going to move out of state. which is 30 minutes across. And they didn't believe him. So then he moves and he opens up 3 shops, and all of his Massachusetts customers follow him because it's 30 minutes away, and they lose all of that revenue.
True. Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
crazy.
It is mind-boggling, man. It's mind-boggling, but it's completely. That's a cool story, by the way. But it's completely unjustified, though. I mean,
Right.
FDA's own research proves that cigars should not be in the same category as cigarettes or the stuff you see in gas stations. Like it's obvious. So.
And then even when they do a test to see how bad cigars on your health, they don't release the test because there's not enough data to support any
data. Right. It's not there.
It's crazy.
It's a dog and pony show, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so we'll see what happens.
Do you remember like one of the first cigars that it was that grabbed your attention, whether it was in the boutique world, whether it was smoking with your grandfather?
Good question. That's a good question. Yeah. So do you remember Ortega cigars, Eddie Ortega?
I know of the name, but I've never had one.
Okay. Eddie Ortega, you can still, I think, he's not, I think he's working for Alec Bradley now, but before he was doing his own thing in the boutique world. And man, there was just one cigar in particular, the Maduro Series D was that one was like, okay, like the boutique world is something that shouldn't be missed, and you need to experience it, So that cigar, I always go back to Ortega as the first one that really knocked me on my ass, So it was a powerful cigar. San Andreas wrapper. I think all the binder and filler was from Nicaragua. But then cool thing about Eddie Ortega, which I don't know if a lot of people know, and to my knowledge, like how the limited edition stuff is really big right now. Like all the limited edition cigars is, that whole element of the industry is just blowing up. Everyone's putting out,
it is.
LEs, and we might entertain that as well. We're thinking about doing something, but anyway.
As long as it is meant because like it's a high quality release, not we got this extra tobacco, let's get rid of it. Let's slap LE on it.
Yeah, no, if it's LE, and again, I've tried some that are great, and I've tried some that I'm like, I'm probably, I kind of wasted money, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I've tried those, and I agree, if you're gonna do an LE, it better be phenomenal. Like it better be really, really good.
Right.
So, but anyway, Eddie Ortega, to my knowledge, was kind of the forerunner of doing all the LEs. So, or kind of like what was a catalyst in that. He produced the Wild Bunch collection in 2013, and he did. Was there 13? No, I'm sorry. There's 12 different blends for the whole year, right, of 2013. And he named each blend after key figures in the cigar industry that had influence on them. He named the cigars after them. Like he did a Island Jim one. He did a Honest Abe, down in Smokin' in Florida.
Yeah,
so he named blends after like key figures in his life, and all of them were limited edition. All were unique. And to my knowledge, I don't think anyone really did that before the Wild Bunch. So back in 2013. So anyway, I just thought that was really cool. Our local cigar shop still carried some of those blends, and I got to experience those, and I still have some in my personal humidor at the home. So, So anyway, to make a long story short, Ortega was the one that kind of had influence on me as far as boutique goes.
Okay. So you had mentioned Island Jim with Oscar.
Oscar,
and so that was one of his. The Island Jim was.
I think he named a cigar after Island Jim.
Okay.
He may have even called it. I think he just called it Island Jim. I don't know. You're gonna make me look,
because I have one of those in my humidor that I've had resting for a while. But yeah, you can't find that on the shelf really anywhere.
Right. No, you can't. And again, it wasn't an Island Jim cigar that Island Jim did. It was Ortega just naming a cigar after Island Jim, I believe. Let me, hold on. Fast Eddie. You're making me look now. Danny McCoy. It was just called Island Jim. It was the March release.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. That was back in 2013. So
Well, now on the subject of LEs and such, we're a part of the LCA, which is the subsidiary of Privada Cigar Club.
Mm-hmm.
And you've worked with Privada before, right?
Yep. They picked up all of our stuff recently, actually. So I've met Brian a couple of times. He's in Orlando. He's just doing awesome things, man. He's blowing up the industry, man. Like, he's really doing some cool stuff. So,
well, and it kind of in that, like, I don't know, when you talk about like Ortega kind of pioneering something like that, or Brian pioneering something like that, it's also, as much as he's blowing up and it's growing, it seems like it's a decent amount of flack from people who, have done the traditional route of, this is a heritage brand and it's about the cigar. Sure. And the unfortunate thing to me is like, well, whether you want to smoke heritage, boutique, or smoke both, there's not a problem. I don't understand this either or type situation.
Yeah.
And we've had Brian on the show a few times. I met Brian at TPE. We went to the Tobacco Plus Expo.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, really cool guy. And for a shop that's so brand new like ours, it's really a helping hand. And a lot of people, they'll give him flack for saying things like Privada and such, that is taking away from brick and mortar. And really, for people who are online and have an online presence, he's doing the exact opposite, which is really interesting.
Right.
And it's what brick and mortar needs right now.
That's what I'm saying. I think I've seen him. He's helping brick and mortars more than, I don't think he's hurting them at all, really. I think no. Brick and mortars are, doing well by picking up all, what he's offering. So I think it should be a pretty good relationship, in my opinion. But I think, like, if people are comparing what he's doing with, like, to the big online retailers like Cigar International or, Thompson or all that, that's a completely different realm.
Right.
That's not even in the same category,
Right.
I could understand being angry at something like that, not that I'm trying to talk crap about anybody, but,
well, the thing about CI or like JR is that they definitely have their place. Cause I mean, I was a consumer before I was a retailer, and I know what it means to want to, pick up a box, but it's like, hey, I don't have all this money. And the brick and mortar cannot compete with something like JR or something like that. But at the same time, you cannot get the same thing from JR that you get from the brick and mortar. And like one of the biggest travesties, you'll hear certain horror stories about brick and mortar owners that are just off-putting or not welcoming. And it's like, that is hurting the industry more than even CI is, because it's like, well, I mean, I don't know if you've heard the term like walking the gauntlet before.
Walking the gauntlet, yeah, sure.
And it's like, when that exists inside a shop, I remember when I was younger, like I had to wear my Privada hat. I had to drop a few name brands before they weren't like, oh, you're here to steal something. And that to me is a travesty.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that statement. Actually, I think that is a travesty, but I think you hit the nail on the head there. But it's good to see like B&M's, I don't know, a little more open-minded, I guess, a little more, they're trying to, they understand that, online is not going away anytime soon. It's only going to get bigger, but people still want the experience of smoking a cigar, which B&M's, there has to be a good, synergy, I think, between the two elements, so.
Right.
And but I agree with you. I think what I've seen with Privada, it's been, at least in my local shops, I can't attest to, well, even some non-local shops I've been to, they've been carrying some of Privada's releases. So anyway, from what I've seen personally, I just think it's been a good thing, so I don't know, but I guess only time will tell with that, because they every time I talk to Brian, he's adamant about, supporting the B&Ms and,
definitely
sure they can partner together, and they want it to work out for the both of them. So,
it's a great recipe. So when he picked up some of your lines, was it going through some of the memberships?
Just going through the memberships, actually.
Okay.
Well, no, I take that back. I think he was doing it in both. I remember a couple of my friends who are Privada subscribers, like some of my cigars came in their monthly packages or whatever. I'm like, oh, dude, this is awesome. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But you can also go on the site and just buy them as well. So
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
available in there in the subscribing. So, but
Nice.
yeah, I would love to do an LE with them at some point. But
So that's a kind of an interesting question or point. I would say is that like, okay, being on the boutique side and starting off somewhat smaller. Do you have a rep, or what is it that you normally have?
Yeah, Eric, we are so homegrown. It's not even funny. Like, it doesn't even get more homegrown than what we're doing. Like, it's me and my wife who's over there, who is 7. Yeah, she's 7 months pregnant. Yeah, 7 months pregnant right now. We have one kid, one on the way. But anyway, she's been really
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. But anyway, she's been taking on that sales rep role. She's been wearing that hat, and she's been driving around, scheduling appointments when she can. She's been calling. She's actually becoming more involved with what we're doing now than ever before, which is great. But before that, man, it was just me kind of just figuring it all out and doing it when I could. So
okay. I mean, we're my wife and I are in the same boat. Like our staff consists of myself and my wife, and that's it.
That's cool, dude. That's awesome. There you go. So you understand. So it's all related.
Yeah.
So you get it. Yeah, you get it. So I mean, the cool thing is, I don't know about your wife, but Crystal was she was a cigarette smoker. She's gonna kill me for saying that, but anyway, she was before, and but she was, I slowly introduced her to cigars, and she's really been loving it. She's been loving trying, sampling, and getting more in it. It took her a while to stop trying to inhale. I know it's a hard habit to break. But, yeah, but no, she's really been enjoying it, man. So again, we're both kind of growing together and appreciating the art of cigars. So it's a
definitely. Yeah. Unfortunately, my wife got a crash course because I didn't know what I was doing when I got into cigars, and so when you choose something more like Dominican based and more like in the medium, you try a Maduro from there, like it's okay, it's sweet, it's not too overbearing. So then I got it in my head like Maduros equals sweet and mellow,
right?
And then I had some really bad Connecticut's, so I was like, this equals like dry and harsh, and I don't like it. So I went from there, and so she started on Maduros, and I went to Nicaragua, and she's like, these are getting stronger and stronger.
Really?
But she smokes with me, so.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's really cool. Yeah, Crystal, she started on the more like flavor infused stuff. So I was giving her acids, like, try this. I was giving her, tobacco and stuff like that. So, the coffee infused stuff. And so anyway, but now she's, she hasn't really been smoking at all since she's pregnant, obviously.
Right.
She got off the flavor infused stuff, a little before she got pregnant, which was good. So, yeah, man, but that's cool. We're kind of in the same boat that way.
Yeah, no, definitely. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask, how long has your shop been around for? Like, what's your story? Like, when did you guys open?
It we had poor timing, unfortunately. Yeah. we opened August 30th, 2019. So we're about to hit 2 years. So not more than 6 or 7 months in, COVID hit. And then we're in like apple country, so we're in a high elevation, surrounded by mountains. So once COVID started like dying a little bit in the summertime, we had 2 major fires that caused the entire area to evacuate. So, but because of the support system that we had, and we did a lot of curbside pickup, we were able to endure that. And it was actually just this last January we were able to convert to full time because I was working 2 jobs at the same time. I'm trying to make it work. It started to pick up, and then we started opening things like the internet or like the membership, and then so we've been really blessed.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. Yeah, we're basically in the same boat, man. And then our website still we're going to be updating our website here soon, but eventually I would love to get to a point where I'm not offering cigars for sale online. I think we, as we get more B&M presence and people like yourself, we're so thankful for. We really, really are. Because again, we want to, but right now we're growing, and it's not like, again, we don't have a sales rep now. Yeah. But we got to get the revenue in from somehow. So
right. Well, and what's interesting, I mean, it's like COVID hit, and so many even big companies. You talk about like LFD. And they just laid off so many of their reps.
Right.
And I think with social media and with how the internet works now, like the idea of cigar reps is not as popular, I don't think, or the main driving force as it used to be.
Dude, I think you're absolutely correct in that. You know, most of the B&Ms who I've connected with, a lot of them been on social media, just sending messages exactly how you and I connected. You know,
Right.
It's a powerful and really resourceful tool that way. You know.
Yeah.
But, and you know, obviously there is a negative. You hate to hear about people are losing their jobs and all that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
But you know, I don't know. It's just the times we're in, man. You know, everything's more digital. It is what it is. But
well, and
you know,
I will say what kind of grabbed my attention to your guys' brand is first off just the labels, and I think I want to say I saw maybe your cigar on Sir Louis Cigars, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I saw that, and whenever you ask someone for samples, there's a double responsibility. I always feel when I contact someone, say, hey, can you send me samples? One, there's responsibility on my end to be like, I legit want to try this. I feel like there's too many people out there that are just like, I want free cigars, so give me what you got.
A lot of those experiences.
Yeah.
Like we've sent off samples and I never hear from them again. It's like,
right.
Like, you hated it or you just wanted free cigars. So
right, exactly. So it's like we don't ever want to come across that way. And at the same time, it's like if I want that reputation of like I'll follow through, there's a part of me inside that I'm like, I hope these cigars aren't crap. Like, and having your cigars come in, I think the Cameroon was the first I lit up, and I was like, this is different. This is something special. And why the hell is it taking so long to hear about them? like it.
That's awesome to hear. That's seriously, that means so much, man. But yeah, you know, we're just glad you gave us a shot, and you know, we really love the exposure. We want to do the same for you guys too. Again, we want to get to a place where, I mean, you know, I say we do a pretty good job in supporting the brick and mortars, and you know, when every time someone asks me where to get cigars from us, I always try to point them to the brick and mortars first. You know, them. And eventually, if they find out we have cigars for sale on our website, then, well, you know, if they buy, they buy. I can't help that.
Right.
But, you know, I'll always try to, direct them to the brick and mortars. But that was cool. I'm glad, even if you didn't like the cigars, like I know, like, I'm glad, I'm sure you would have contacted me and said, hey, this isn't for us. And, you know, but thank you, you know.
Yeah.
And I wish more of them did that.
Right. Because just that feedback, it can be valuable. So, So in speaking with feedback and such, have you guys attended any of the trade shows like TE, PDA, anything like that?
So I think next year is going to be our year for that. I think we were still kind of establishing, you know, the structure of our company and creating relationships. I know the trade shows is a great way to network and, you know, create relationships. I get that. I think at the time I couldn't just justify the fees, you know, to get in. Number one. And, you know, there was still a lot of work we could do home locally. So I think we wanted to focus on that now. But I'm hoping next year to be more involved for sure.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, even for us, I mean, I think this year was so unorthodox in the sense that TPE and PCA were so close together that it kind of like throws a monkey wrench. So we attend TPE. It's just financially, it didn't make any sense to go to PCA because it's like, you know, you get your TPE deals, you make your orders as many X amount of months out, hoping that will last. And it's like, I just don't know if I want to go back to PCA and have the same situation. So next year with TPE being in January, PCA being in the summertime, I think it'll be easier to manage.
No, for sure. So are you going to PCA or you're not going to PCA?
This year we're not, but we're going to try to make it next year.
Got it. Well, shoot, man, maybe we'll see each other there.
It's just, there you go. Hey. So a question we have, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. One of my best friends lives in San Diego. We were there in 2017. How far away are you from San Diego? Are you pretty far away from there?
Depending on traffic, because that's the biggest factor. We're anywhere between, I would say, an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, depending on traffic.
Okay, that's not horrible.
It's not too bad. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any brick and mortars out here in California?
Dude, you are the first one, honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which means a lot. Which means a ton. So thank you for doing that. Yeah, man. I've been talking to my buddy though out in San Diego, and I sent him cigars on the reg. You know, I'm like, dude, like, be our little sales rep for us out there. You know, like,
Yeah.
I can't pay you a lot, but I'll give you more free cigars if you want. So I don't know.
Well,
but, you know.
Well, and I think that because our humidor is pretty small, but what we have inside of it is really those like special boutique lines. I don't know if you are familiar with Cigars Daily in Arizona.
Yeah. Cigars Daily. They have a pretty good following on their show on YouTube.
Yeah. Tim Swanson is the founder and owner. And so, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
So he released his brand American Viking, and we were, I think, the first or second in California to bring them in, and they do extremely well for us. I mean, he's teamed up with the Plasencia factory in Nicaragua, so really quality tobacco, quality blenders.
Very good.
But
yeah, I saw his documentary he did with the Plasencia family. The factory over there. That was pretty cool to see. That's actually where our original Maduro, our first cigar, was made. Was in that Plasencia factory.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to press you either way. Can you say where your cigars factory comes from now, or?
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. I'm pretty transparent with this stuff. It's a small private factory in Esteli. It's basically a house that has about 8 rollers or 8 tabaqueros in them. The company who we partner with is Cordoba Morales. And I always try to do right by them because they've been phenomenal with us. You know, if you ever want to, try some of their stuff, I'd be happy to send some stuff your way as well. But so it's their private little factory there. So
nice.
Yeah. So we're not in any of the bigger, more well-known factories.
But I feel like when you go to certain factories or certain farms, you almost have that like signature taste that like factory or farm has, which when it works, it really separates it from. I mean, a big flagship for us is AJ Fernandez. He does amazing cigars, but at the same time, AJ has a signature taste to it. So like when we carry Southern Draw, it's like, well, it still has that kind of like AJ like fingerprint on it. Whereas when it comes from something smaller that with quality, it kind of sets it apart from whatever kind of taste that goes with. I mean, AJ makes a Cameroon, you make a Cameroon, completely different flavor.
Completely. Yeah, I think AJ's talking about the New World. I remember trying that. I thought it was a good cigar. I actually thought it was a really good cigar. I didn't think it really had that big of a punch for the strength wise. More mild to medium maybe in strength. But I remember trying that, and I was like, man, it's a good cigar. I really want to do a Cameroon, but I really want it to have a punch. I want it to have a punch. So. And, Z from Cordoba is kind of notorious in the boutique world for making a stronger cigar, even his Connecticut's have some power to them. So, that's what we kind of wanted to do. But, and they're cool, man. Like, their roots go back to 1906. His grandmother learned how to, grow and cultivate tobacco, grew up on, Cuban farms and whatnot. So, their family history, runs pretty deep, and we're glad to be a part of it. So
definitely.
Yeah.
So we do have a question actually from Claudia, who's here as well. Yeah. She's saying if you could pick one person, past or present, that you would sit down and have a cigar with, do you know who that person would be?
That's a great question. I gotta think about that for a while. Who would it be? It'd probably be. Damn, if I could sit down with anybody past. I literally haven't thought about this question, so you're giving me a good one here. I don't know. It'd probably be John F. Kennedy, so I can call him a hypocrite to his face, putting the embargo on, him a little bit,
and buying all of the
cigars.
Yeah, exactly.
Put the damn embargo on. I don't know. Winston Churchill,
Yeah.
Completely different response. Churchill's amazing, man. Like, that guy, he would have a drink every every 15 minutes and was just a go-lucky kind of guy and, kicked ass in World War II. So, I don't know. I would like to have a cigar with him too.
Depending on what mood you're in then.
Yeah. Smack somebody or really just shake someone's hand, Hope that answers your question.
So, well, and a few other questions that I normally ask some of our manufacturers. One of them is kind of one of those, the cigar that you had that kind of put you into the world, which you kind of answered. Another one I would say is, do you have favorite brands? Like, do you get to smoke other people's stuff? And if so, do you have like favorite cigars or ones that really stand out to you?
Yeah, that's a good point. I honestly, I feel like I smoke, our product more than anything, just because we're always trying to, to test for consistency, to refine, to all that stuff. We really try to have a good hand on that. But I would say Steve Saka.
Okay.
I love Steve Saka. I think everything he puts out is great. I enjoy Matt Booth's stuff. I love Room 101. Pete Johnson, I like Good to Twice. I love the Skinny Monster series that he did for Halloween. I thought that was pretty cool. And let me think, like one that really, really stands out to me that kind of blew me away. Believe it or not, it's a company that isn't really well known. They're called Regina Cigars out in Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay.
And this actually kind of caught me off guard. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it, but they're a Catholic organization, and they support an orphanage out in Honduras, and throughout all the portions of the proceeds of the cigar they give to this orphanage, which is kind of cool. They have 7 kids under their wing. But their cigars are actually surprising really good, like better than I thought it was going to be. I had their Honduran 5-pack sampler, all their blends from Honduras, and AJ Fernandez blends their cigars. So AJ, so they have a good relationship with AJ, but you can check them out, Regina Cigars. So, but
I don't know
I'm always trying to try things when I have time, but I honestly love smoking our stuff more than anything. So
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And I mean, speaking kind of to that Connecticut side, I don't know if you've tried Black Label's Porcelain Connecticut.
No, I haven't. To be honest, is it a great cigar?
It's a very good Connecticut as a word. I mean, it's like this rich flavor. It to me kind of raises the bar in the world of Connecticut's. It's definitely worth one checking out.
Really? No.
Yeah.
Cool. I heard Stallone has a killer cigar.
They do. One? Oh yeah, no, we met.
Try it. Yeah.
We met. We met Tony at TPE, and that was one of the new brands we picked up. And funny you mentioned that. Stallone just came in today, and so their whole portfolio is. I mean, if you want that like blast of pepper, blast of strength. I mean, they do. What's unique about them is out of their 6 lines, 3 of them are Maduros. They do a Nicaragua Maduro, San Andreas, and Broadleaf. But even their Connecticut is pretty well powerful. So
really,
they're
awesome.
worth it.
Cool. I have to try that. That's awesome. I'll definitely give that a go. Wow.
Another question I would have is, I mean, your sizing is pretty unique. Do you have a favorite size, like Vitola?
I really enjoy Lanceros, man.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like popularity-wise, it may not be the most popular. Like I find I meet people who are, who love them. Some people will never touch that Vitola ever. They just won't do it either because, how it makes them feel or the way it looks. I don't know. But I just really feel like you taste that wrapper. You really taste that wrapper. Lanceros.
Okay.
You look at the ratio with, filler and wrapper. To me, if I really want to try and get to experience a wrapper, I'll usually go for a Lancero first, to really taste it.
Yeah. And I've noticed, I mean, in your portfolio, you have a few Lanceros available as well.
We have one. We have one with the Cameroon, actually. So
okay.
Yeah, for Hear No Evil.
Yeah. Now, and then your Robustos, they're a 54 gauge, is that right?
54 gauge. Yeah.
And I know that for some people that might be a larger. For me, like when it comes to Robusto, I don't know what it is, but it just there's a part of me that dies inside when it's a 5x50. It's the most traditional, but I do not like that size. I don't like the feel of it. So something that's more 52 between 52 and 56 Robusto is like sweet spot for me.
Agreed. Yeah, I totally agree. 5x50 is too small for me. That was actually our first one, the original Maduro. Actually, no, I take that back. It came out in a 5x52, then it segued to a 5x50 because that's all they were producing at the time. That for our blend. But and I hated it. Like it was the same blend, but I was just like, something about this. I don't like it at all. And, no. So you know, it just didn't work. But yeah, I agree. 52 to like 56, that's kind of my jam. You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. There's more meat to it.
Yeah, I'll smoke a couple 6x60s here and there, but you know, I tend to go below 60. So
yeah, same.
Below 60, 50. That's kind of where I'm at.
And I know that this question's it's a difficult one to answer because it's kind of like asking you to choose your favorite child. But if you have a favorite out of your portfolio, do you have a favorite blend or favorite cigar?
Yeah, man. I honestly, it's between it's between Hear No Evil and Speak No Evil. I'd say our Speak No Evil Sumatra, I think, is a bomb Sumatra. I think it's probably a little stronger than the Hear No Evil from a strength standpoint. From a flavor standpoint, it's full bodied in my opinion.
Okay.
So I would say between Speak No and Hear No are my two. I always go back and forth. Like when Speak No Evil came out, which was our latest release, I was like, this is it. This is my jam. I'm going to smoke every day. And then I've been smoking Hear No's lately. So I don't know. I would say between those for sure.
Okay.
The other ones are great cigars too, but
right.
I just think they're the most flavorful. You can't go wrong with either of those two. You really can't.
Yeah. And out of like smoking your stuff, smoking other people's stuff, how many cigars a day would you say that you smoke normally?
I always try to smoke one a day, always, at the minimum. And to me, I can only really smoke in the morning because my wife and I try to come home and spend time with the family and and all that and do some work. And by that time, I'm just ready to go to bed. So, after breakfast, that's typically when I smoke a cigar. Full bodied or not, strong or not, that's what I do. During COVID, I was smoking like 3 to 5 a day because we went home and it was great. And I sat on the front porch every day working. I'm like, this is just phenomenal. Like so we just keep the situation. Babe, bring me another cigar. Really appreciate it. like that's what was going on. So, and then she's, she kind of convinced me to stop. She's like, I don't care what you say. I don't care how natural you think this is. Like, you need to stop. Like, it's a little too much. And I told her no, and we got in a fight, and that was it. So, anyway, try to shoot for one a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I think across the board during COVID, I mean, it's still kind of happening now to some degree that there's like a mini cigar boom that's happening right now, and a lot of people say that that really depends on supply and demand and the regulation of how many people you can have in your factory and all the precautions going on. But it does seem like even talking to some of the manufacturers at TPE, they were like, I've sold more in the first day than like I did in all 3 days. Like
really,
there's more cigars going out and there's more, and who knows if that's going to continue. But I think that whenever there's a situation that throws a monkey wrench into normal state of life, how you're saying, like you're at home working and such, as a business owner or as a brand, such like that, it's really learning how to adapt and how to basically reach that need and how to almost work it to your advantage versus, well, I've always done it this way and I refuse to move on or I refuse to grow, basically.
Right.
But it's interesting. I'm curious to see what's going to happen next couple of years.
I am too, man. In some ways, I agree. I think COVID really presented an opportunity, even though it was a huge obstacle in a lot of ways.
Right.
Most way it was an obstacle, but for us, like we really took the time to grow our social media platform during that time. We had like 600 followers and we got to, close to 2,500, during COVID. So we just ramped it up, try to get our following. We had a lot of online orders, and so in that sense, a lot of cigars went out big time. And it just goes to show you, man, you got to turn obstacles into opportunities.
Right.
But
right.
But yeah, I agree. It is going to be interesting to see kind of what happens, in the next couple of years with all this stuff. I mean,
right.
as traveling maybe becomes a little more difficult depending on, I don't know, whatever the government is doing. I need to pay more attention to that stuff.
Right.
Maybe people are less are not as prone to going out anymore to brick and mortars and all that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, have you experienced that at all?
Well, we were kind of fortunate in the fact that we've always been an outside venue. So we've always had a tent. Like, people would walk into to our back patio where I'm actually seated right now. Behind me is one of the train cars. Our humidor is in a 1913 train car. So we're very much on rustic, like, outside area. People would see the tent and they're like, is that for COVID? And it's like, well, nah, it's just a low budget.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's it.
But it works to our advantage. Yes, exactly. Because you can have somewhat of a larger gathering, more spread out and more outside. And it's not that dense, like, claustrophobic. You can't see the person across the room because there's so much cigar smoke type environment.
Sure. Yeah, that's perfect. So, I think people are pretty ready to get back to normal. I know in my state, Florida, I heard a comedian talk about this the other day. I thought it was pretty spot on. He was like, Florida basically just got sober for 2 weeks while everyone else was on lockdown. Like, oh, no, this isn't for us. we're going back out.
Well, no, and I really envy the situation in Florida on that side. I mean, it's California doesn't always make it easy. So
no, but you guys probably made more smarter decisions, probably containing all the infections and whatnot. But anyway, so it's going to be interesting with the vaccines being released and with people just sick of being cooped up. It's there at some point,
right?
Soon.
Right.
So with this thing that sucks though is, like, cigars still have a stereotype of really. I'm trying to put this in a good way, There's obviously health concerns with any type of tobacco you smoke, regardless if it's a premium cigar or not. There's just a lot less concerns with what we do,
Right.
So, and now everyone's on a health craze, we'll see if more and more maybe newcomers that are not that well versed with cigars will give it more of a try, or, if they won't. But I don't know. The cigar population's small as it is, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say? I don't know.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it's. I mean, there's always some struggle, whether it's FDA, whether it's what's going on in travel. There's always something that's happening. But I mean, I think as a whole, as small as it is, the industry has been rather blessed in, continuing to make it. And I mean, with people like Alan Ruman from Alec Bradley with the CRA and kind of fighting for those rights and such, it's just, it is encouraging. And hopefully the gentleman that you had mentioned previously, his bill goes through, and that would help it out. Because I know, I think it was beginning of 2020, everyone thought FDA was coming down with that hammer of saying no new cigars are going to be coming on the market at all.
I know.
Which was nuts.
It was nuts. Hopefully that's not the case, because, we're still seeing new blends every day.
Right.
So hopefully that will continue. This bill will be passed and we'll put it to bed. If they want to, regulate flavored tobacco and the crap that's sold in gas stations, go for it, but it isn't the same thing. So
no. So, Well, I want to thank you, Justin, for being on our show. It's been awesome talking to you and about your brand. And for any of those who are watching, if you'd like to try the Hear No Evil Cameroon, it will be available in our membership. You can go ahead and click on the link in this video that will direct you to our website. Become a member. Try these cigars. They're amazing. If you haven't, you're definitely missing out, because there's something very, very special.
Thank you so much, man. If you want a lot of good citrus and sweet cedar notes, this is what you want right here. There it is. Anyway, cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Justin. Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you sometime at one of the trade shows in person. It would be great.
I would love to meet you in person, man. And again, if I'm out in San Diego, I'll definitely hit you up at some point.
Definitely.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, we'll have a safe trip out to Chicago, and we'll be in touch.
All right, man. Sounds good. Take care.